I was just making a joke because I think I did like 10 interviews with people, and the whole time, each time, they just wanted to talk to me about yoni steams. And I'm like, I don't really know that there's a lot of content on yoni steams that I can really like cover. And I was like, when did I get dubbed the yoni steam queen? But at the same time, it's like, thank you, because clearly you're recognizing something that I'm doing. And
Mm,
I've been selling yoni steams and yoni eggs since like way before it was popular. And when I first started,
mm,
people thought it was crazy because they're like, you want me to do what with what? um, you want me to stick what where? Like
yeah,
why? And
yeah.
then it became trendy on like the housewives and Gwyneth Paltrow and other
Mm,
people. And then people are like circling back around and going, hey, I remember you were trying to, talk to me about that thing.
right. And I
Um,
just had a yoni steam actually recently for the first
really?
time.
How was that?
Locally where I live. It was good. It was fun. I loved it. It felt good. It felt like it just, it was relaxing. I took my aunt and we had a good time.
Oh,
It was
nice.
nice. Mhm.
Nice. Yeah, I have not been to like one of these little boutique spaces. So I actually have a university room
Mhm.
that is being built. So it's in the process of
Oh,
being
that's gonna be
finalized right
awesome.
now. But I haven't been to like a fancy one. I steam, and when I steam like in groups, we steam traditional old school style. So we still use the pole. I'm just like, I want to be in
Mm.
touch with like my ancestors and my ancestral roots when I'm steaming. And so I bear
Mhm.
down, get my pillows, my blankets, and just like hunch over. And, I don't really hunch over. That doesn't sound very graceful. But I prop myself up and I use blankets and I
Mhm.
steam with the still using the bowl and on the floor on my hands and knees. And I really, really like it.
Oh, okay. So that's the traditional way
That's the traditional.
of doing
Well,
it. Okay.
prior to that, it was they would dig a hole in the earth and, pour
Mm.
the herbs and then the hot water and then squat over. But, then bowls came into play and other things came into play. And now people got
Mhm.
boxes in their own house. And so it's like totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like it wasn't a fancy place. It was kind of, she tried to make it like more spa-ish, you
Okay.
know. So I mean, it was cute. I liked it. But
Nice.
I do know a lot of people are selling those. So I mean, it's kind of like a buzzword right now, like a buzz thing with the
Yeah.
Yanni scene. So
Yeah,
I don't know though.
people follow the trends and they jump on the trends, and I'm just grateful that this
Mhm.
trend happens to be something that's beneficial, that's going to lead
Mhm.
them into healing a lot of things that are happening in the womb space. And I hope that it's also leading into opening up that dialogue about what's
Yeah.
happening in our body and,
Mhm.
things that we normally wouldn't speak to somebody about. I'm hoping that those
Mhm.
conversations are happening as well in these circles and in these, spas, so to speak.
Yeah. 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 That's good. Yes, and it's true. The girl who gave us the Yanni steam, she was an herbalist. So she was, very much into making sure that we got the right herbs for if we had any issues and all that.
Mhm.
But yeah, we don't have to focus on the Yanni, the Yanni theme.
We
But
don't. I think we kind of fell into it, but I
I
felt
know.
we went with it.
But anyway, so hi. Today we are with my special new friend, Chamica, and she is from Venus Moon Wellness Boutique in Arizona. And you're here with me today. I'm so happy that you joined me. So, so happy. Wanted to talk to you just about what you're doing in your business and all about you. And we might talk about some Yannis. I don't know.
I,
But
I
just
don't
a
think I've ever
little.
had a conversation where a yoni didn't pop in there somewhere. So I think that's okay.
Yeah. And yoga. You do Reiki, right?
Yes.
Um, what else? What else do you do? And what is Venus Moon Creations about?
Okay. So what else do I do? I am a clinical hypnotherapist.
Yes.
And yeah, as well as I teach, meditation and breath work. I host a lot of events and retreats for women. I think one of the biggest things that I would say speaks to my heart is really being able to do like womb healing for women and really
Yes.
diving deep and holding space where we can normalize certain conversations within the community.
That's beautiful.
And
And you're
the beauty.
working out of your studio in Arizona.
Yes, I have an actual brick and mortar studio inside Maricopa, Arizona, and it's super. I love it. It's like my baby. It's like my little love child right now. I'm having such an amazing like love affair with the studio, and
That's
creating
awesome.
it and getting to know my community and being able to introduce that to a community that really wasn't
Mm-hmm.
aware of what
Mm-hmm.
that they even needed it or that there was even such a thing. And I have an herbal shop inside, and I have
Oh,
a
awesome.
Himalayan salt room inside my studio as well.
Ooh, that's awesome. So, are you daily in the studio just with classes and with how does that work?
Yeah, I am a solopreneur. Like it
And
probably
that.
sounds more exciting than it is in the moment. So I teach classes in the morning and the evening, and then I run the salt room and the herbal shop throughout the day. And then
Mm-hmm.
I take appointments for like hypnotherapy, Reiki, and yoni steams. And that's kind of
That's
like
awesome.
my
I'm
routine.
asking too for me, like, girl, how do you do it all? Like,
I it when you like what you do, it doesn't really feel like work. But that's
mm,
I say that, and it also at the same time say that I did experience burnout because I
mm,
was go, 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 go. And my self
mm,
care started to get very minimal. And next thing I know, I was like not feeling good and I was exhausted and I really didn't want to be in the studio. So
mm,
now I make sure I take at least a weekend off a month. I don't work on Sundays and Mondays. And so
right,
1 week I'll take an extra 2 days. So I have 4 days off a month and I take a vacation. I am like
right.
vacation queen right now, even if it's just a vacation. It keeps my sanity, it fills my cup, and
Mm,
then I can go back and give more to others. So,
mm. That's important, very important, especially as a solopreneur. You know what I mean? Because there's so much to do, and you just feel like you have to be doing something all the time.
yeah,
And
and you really don't. And I have
mm-mm,
to remember that, I need to create with my divine feminine and to stay in
mm,
the flow versus creating from a very masculine space. Because when you talk to people,
yes,
they want to say, oh, it's hard work. I don't accept that. Oh, it's
mm,
challenging. Oh, it's stressful. Oh, you're going to get overwhelmed. That people want to project their experience on you.
mm-hmm,
And I had to really sit down and come back to a space of 90% manifestation, 10% action. I don't have to pound the
mm,
pavement, you know?
mm-hmm,
I don't have
mm-hmm.
to pound the pavement. I just have to tap into my divine feminine energy and send that out into the world and ask for what I want and allow the universe to deliver that for me.
And then that attraction. I mean, letting what you want attract to you,
Yeah. Letting
as
it come.
opposed to
Yeah.
like chasing. And
Yeah.
that's a big difference. That's a huge shift. Like
It is. It is. But even when you know and you do the work, like how many times we still fall and have to, you know what I mean? Go back to the
yeah.
basics and go back and remember. And it's like, um, I have months where my self-care is like amazing. And then all of
Mm-hmm,
a sudden
mm-hmm.
you skip one day, you skip a week, you skip two
Right.
weeks, and then you got to start all over again. And I think that it's about being dedicated to the path and
Yeah.
being dedicated to the journey of healing and growing so that you can help
Mm-hmm.
other people heal and grow as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I truly, truly believe that because we're all human too, and we're going to like no one's perfect. And
Right.
I think we're just hard on ourselves, so for the most part, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a good thing. You need the self-care for sure. But
Yeah.
what about the womb, the womb healing?
Okay.
How do you approach that? And, you know, do you have like a program or workshops that you do?
I have some digital content that's coming. Most of the work that I'm doing right now is like in person or retreat work. Or people will come to me and they do a womb Reiki session or something, something to that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody were just looking to start their journey, I would say breath work. Breath work, and
Yeah.
doing like a guided meditation visualization of the breath coming in and just cleansing and clearing whatever, unwanted stuff. And just imagining that breath as it comes in, it's just kind of removing and exhale. You're releasing all of the toxins, all the negative energy. Breath work and movements would probably be my top two. I feel like we don't dance and play and move
Right.
enough. And when we're moving that energy through, we allow that stuck energy to, really release. But a lot of times the first step is acknowledging that you got stuck there. There's so many things
Mm,
that are traumatic that get stuck in the womb space. And a lot of times we think that trauma has to be something like, rape or things like that, but it could be a comment that somebody made that was very hurtful. It could be maybe
mm-hmm.
you lost weight and you don't like your body, or maybe you gained weight and you don't like your body. All of these things become
Right.
trauma, and a lot of times we just stick it down in our womb space, and that's where we create, that's where we connect, that's our
Right.
intimacy, our sexuality, our sensuality. And so when it's full, we are disconnected. We're disconnected from ourselves, and we're disconnected
Mm,
from other people. And really understanding, when you are willing to sit with that uncomfortableness and really breathe through whatever is there,
right.
it starts to lessen and it moves, and you really start to understand that there's deeper levels of intimacy and connection that you didn't even know were there.
Yes, that is deep. And just like being in that still space, I think, and listening to your own body, because like your body will tell you things, you know, about what's happening. And I think that we're so much like on the go sometimes, like especially like what you said, like from that masculine place, and we just don't take the time. And then our whole society is like shaming you for not being busy, you
Yeah,
know, or you're not doing enough, you're not working hard enough, and we just don't pay attention. We're not paying attention, you know.
I agree. There's a book that I love. It's called Pussy Reclamation by Regina Talmashower. And
Mm,
I often suggest that book to my clients. And she talks about, it refers to it as the great pussy in the sky, right? And being able to
mm,
connect with that aspect of self. And I really started paying attention to my body and realizing, like,
mm,
when I'm feeling juicy, when I'm feeling excited, um, she's excited, you know? And sometimes I might
right.
not be excited about something, but if I stop and I listen to my body is telling me, like, yes, we like this.
Mm,
We like the way this feels. We want more of this. Even like when I was looking for my first house here in Arizona, I remember walking in, and as soon as I walked in, it was just like waterfall. I was just juicy. My whole body was turned on. Everything just felt good. And I knew that this was my house. And my agent's like, no, let's go look at more houses. And each house that I walked in after that, it was nothing. And I realized, like,
mm,
oh, okay, my body is telling me, like, we want here.
right.
This feels good. So when we tune into that intuition and we realize that our yoni has its own consciousness, and it's
Mm,
calling forth its own creations and its own experiences, and really
mm,
being able to hone into that and lead with that and listen to that, because when we're feeling juicy there, we're feeling juicy and turned on full body elsewhere, and that's where we manifest our greatest things.
oh, that's good. Yes, so good. I just picked up a book. What is it? Queen Afua?
I love Queen
What
of
is
Four.
that one?
Is it
Overcoming the
Big
Angry
Woman?
Vagina.
Ah, I've not read that one. I
Yeah,
have
this is
not read that
good.
one.
Um, and basically she just what exactly what you said is like not only just like rape or trauma that way, it's just so many things that we
Yeah,
push down and hold and just in our yoni. And so that book is just like all about all the anger from like the collective women too.
yeah,
um
there's so much stuff. I mean, even birth, as beautiful as birth is, it can
mm,
register in the body as a traumatic experience,
mm,
comments that people make, sexual harassment,
right.
fear, all sorts of things, feeling insecure with a partner, painful intercourse, somebody being too rough with you. The uterus can register
Mm,
that as a trauma. And there's so many things that we might not even think about. But when you actually sit with it and you start to clear it and you realize how your life starts to change, then I've not met a woman who's like, oh, I wish I didn't do that work.
right. That's good. So when you like say breath work, you said maybe to start with breath work. What
Mhm.
kind of breath work would you recommend?
Um, just you can do like three-part yogic breath if you're familiar with it. I personally usually do like a circuit breath, inhaling from the womb space, bringing the breath up, and then exhaling it back down and just creating a loop. But it really just depends on the intention. If the intention is, I'm willing to sit with this, I wouldn't do any particular breath work. I would just breathe deeply into my womb space and say,
Mm,
I'm willing to sit with this and I'm willing to witness this. Like whatever comes up, it's a safe space for me and I'm willing to sit with this. And then if you wanted to do a more progressive breath, moving into like a three-part
mm-hmm,
breath, and then bringing in that visualization of each inhale as the belly expands, you're filling the womb space with love. And on the exhale, you're releasing any like toxic energy, any negative energy, any hurt feelings, emotions, etc. Whatever word resonates for you.
mm. That's good. That's really good. I mean, and that's a simple technique, I think, too, just for anyone who sees this to begin, because most people don't breathe deep enough. Like everyone's breathing very shallow, and that alone is a major, major thing that can just change so many things for someone. Just
I
from the
agree.
yoni to just your person. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even just breathing completely releases the bacteria. And, a lot of times people wonder why they, stay sick. And it's like, because you're not actually fully exhaling the bacteria that you took in on your inhale. You take a deep
Mm,
inhale and a shallow exhale, you're still leaving all of that stuff in there.
mm, good point. Oof. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot, but I think it's just like these simple things we weren't taught. Like, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
basic things that, it seems like now people feel like, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that to, get better, like to be happy. Like, you know what I mean? I think there's an idea, like even growing up for me, I thought that like you just live. You know what I mean? Like you just work. You just, you don't know until you
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
to,
That whole pattern of get up, wake up, go to work, come home,
yeah,
watch TV, go to sleep. That's life.
yeah. And you think that when you're growing up, you think you're going to be happy. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't think that you have to do work on yourself. You have to, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, you just think that life is just going to go and you're just going to be happy. You know what I mean? And as you go along, you start to be like, wait, I'm doing this or that. But I'm still not content with life,
Right.
or I'm not happy or whatever. And then you start to realize that not, I don't even want to say work on yourself, because that makes it seem like it's work, but I don't know if you know, have another better word for it.
I'm gonna come back to you on a better word. So for now, I'm gonna say work. And I
Yeah.
get what you don't want to put that
Hmm.
stigma or just the energy on it that it's work, but realistically, like it is work. We do have to
Yeah,
work.
it's work.
And it's like being a manifester and knowing, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be happy and I'm going to choose to be happy and I'm going to choose to live,
Hmm.
a happy life. And if we could just hold on to that, we had it right when
Right.
we were little. It's all the different life circumstances that nobody taught us how to heal and let go of
Mm.
that kind
Mm.
of skewed and added all of these different lenses on. And then we find ourselves in that mucky space. But I think that it's fortunate because we're able to see that. Because think about like the people who don't see
Mm.
that, you know?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just in it
Yeah.
and they
Hmm.
have no idea what happiness is, how happy they could possibly be, that they're creating their own reality. They just, all they know is that. So I
Yeah.
think that's a
Yeah.
blessing to be able to have that awareness and know,
Hmm.
okay, even if
Hmm.
right now doesn't look the way that I'd like for it to look, the next moment can.
Mm. Yes. Yes. Oof. Yes. And that awareness, it is a blessing. Um, and I guess like when you have it, you just have to like try to share it. Like there's no other way. You know what I mean? It's like you have it for yourself, but you can't like like you have to try to help others with that. I feel like once you have
Hmm.
an awareness.
I mean, do we have to? No. Do we want to? Yeah. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't really have to, but I mean, I feel like that those are those soul contracts that we made, and just being healers,
Mm.
like we're dedicated to the journey. And because we're dedicated to the journey, we're constantly learning, and as we learn, we teach. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that it just
Mm-hmm.
becomes a natural rhythm of, hey, I figured this out. Oh, you haven't figured this out. Let me help you figure this out. But having
Right.
healthy boundaries, because a lot of times we can cross that. We can give too
Mm.
much, or we can try to spiritual bypass for somebody else instead of allowing them to, come to their own awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the
Yeah.
proper demonstration is really us living our best life and other people saying, hey, you know what? I saw you. I remember you were going through this and that, and now look at you. And then
Mm.
it helps inspire them to say, I can do that too, you know?
Mm. Yes. Yes. That's good. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um, so what else? What else do you have that you've been working on, or that's coming up next for you?
Well, let's see what else is coming up next for me. It's like, I want to say all these things because we're creatives and we always have something like on the mind.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm really just creating a community so that I can move on to the next thing, which is creating my digital content and getting back into retreats. I really miss
Mm.
having, destination retreats. And right now the world is at such an interesting space that, kind of
Mhm.
took a back seat to that. So I don't have anything that's like set other than my monthly Empower Your Flower Yoni-Sync workshop that I do here in Arizona. And I'm like excited.
Oh, tell us about that.
So it is a Yoni-Sync circle. We all gather in traditional circle style, and I educate the women about the herbs. We do a womb meditation. We eat chocolates and we sip pussy tea, and we give each other blessings. And it's really just about like normalizing that conversation and normalizing
Mm.
that space. And then we steam, and we end with
Oh, nice.
singing bowls, and then we walk in a line and we give the herbs back to the earth.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
we just kind of close it out. And I love it because as the women come, they make connections with the other women there. And the next time they
Mhm.
come, I can see them starting to, build their community. And, knowing that my center gets to be a hub for that, where it's
Oh,
connecting
that's
these
awesome.
women. It's such a beautiful healing space. It really like makes me realize like, okay, there's a purpose here, Sometimes you have an
Mhm.
idea, but
Mhm.
to actually see it and see it in movement really is like, oh, okay, wow. All right, this vision is like even bigger than what I imagined it being.
That's awesome. And that you have it that circle every month?
I do. I have it every month.
Oh, that's awesome. So we're definitely going to leave your information, and if anyone is in your area that wants to join, definitely, they can look you up. And also look out for any things coming up, your digital content that's coming up. And do you have any online classes right now?
Oh, and I just had that thought. I love your intuition. I just had that thought. So I'm going to be bringing back um, meditation moon days, and I am
Mm.
gonna have my online class as well. I'll be streaming my classes. So,
Oh,
if anyone
nice.
is like, I want to do breath work or yoga nidra or what have you, that'll be up on my site soon as well.
Oh, awesome. So what about your yoga classes? What are they like? Are you offering like, are they specialized, or is it more just hatha or vinyasa?
Oh my gosh, I am like a hodgepodge. I do
Okay.
all of the things that I love. So I did 800 hours as an 800-hour yoga therapist, hatha based. And then I incorporate Kundalini, Tantric yoga, and Nam yoga now. So I
Oh.
really have like
Mm.
it's very much more of a spiritual practice. You're still gonna do your downward dog and build some fire,
Hmm.
but most of it is like mantra, breath work, and really building and cultivating that internal peace.
That's awesome. So there's another, I also want to ask you one more thing about the hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
Um, what are you doing, like regressions, or what kind of hypnotherapy are you doing?
I do all sorts of different types of hypnotherapy. So
Mm.
it's transpersonal. So it's like mind, body, and soul. And so I do a lot of
Mm.
past life regression, a lot of, inner child healing work. I can
Mm.
do the usual fears and phobias,
Mhm.
insomnia, weight loss, things like that, but I love doing the deeper work. I'm a deep diver for sure. Like I want to dive
Mm.
deep into the psyche and really clear like
Mhm.
blocks and um, beliefs that no longer serve us, outdated programs and ancestral stuff. So I like to
Mm.
use it to really just like get in there and let go and create a whole new program.
Mm.
I used to
That's
like
very
refer to it as like
interesting.
a computer programmer. I'm like, I'm a computer programmer for the mind. It's like, oh, I have this belief that, whatever, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. And
Mhm.
then being able to delete that program out and put in the program that I'm worthy and deserving of so many great things in life and, really
Mm.
filling that void with something healthier.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that because it's still, centered around like, mind, body, spirit, and a lot. You don't necessarily hear hypnotherapy with related that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that that's a
Really
great way
different.
to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know that there was such thing as transpersonal hypnotherapy. And then once I signed up for the course like a few years back, and the first thing that she says is, this is about, the whole body, the whole person and integrating the mind, the body, and the soul. And I was like, of course I would manifest. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, that's awesome.
coming here and having this experience and learning this particular aspect of hypnotherapy because I originally was just going to learn just, more traditional style hypnotherapy.
Hmm.
And I'm so grateful that that's not what my spirit had in alignment for myself.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look that up because I've never heard of transpersonal um,
Yeah.
hypnotherapy. Saying that there was this book I read about this hypnotherapist, this doctor, who he does in between life regressions. And
Okay.
his name is, I think it's Michael Newton, and it's called Journey of the Soul. Oh my gosh, that book, it's all his cases from all, that he put together in one book. And each person is, he takes them to a past life when they die, and then from the point that they die to when they go into the spirit world, and then just that part, and
Okay.
oh my god,
See,
it's
now I'm gonna be
like,
looking for somebody who, well, one, I'm gonna have to go get that book, and two, I'm gonna be looking for somebody who wants to have that experience.
but
Yeah,
yeah, that book,
that
oh
book.
my god, it's so detailed. Each case that it's, I don't know how many cases are in there, but they're all telling almost the same exact story, but in their own way, about
Hmm.
going into the spirit world. And it's very detailed, very detailed. Oh my gosh, such a good book.
All right. Well,
Gotta
I'm
pick
gonna
that
ask
up.
you to please send that. It's like just send
I'll
that
send you
and
the link.
because yeah, I'm like such a book whore. I love
Me
reading.
too. And what was the other
Especially,
book that you mentioned? The Pussy book? I need to
um,
check that out.
Pussy Reclamation. It's by Regina
Okay.
Thomashower. And I
Okay.
just got another book. Um, it's called Pussy Prayers. I know I had to go on my Instagram to get actually, I have it on my Instagram. It's called Black Girl Bliss Pussy Prayers Sacred and Sensual Rituals for Wild Women of Color.
Mm.
So I found it on Amazon.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely leave a link for that.
Yeah, I just got into it, so I can't give a whole lot of feedback. But a lot of my clients, just kind of how you had mentioned, how what a lot of what I'm saying is in, Queen of Fool's book. My students were saying the same thing. They're like, oh, all the stuff
Mm.
that you're saying is in this book that we read, this book, Pussy Prayers. And so I got it, and the
Mm.
first like couple pages that I read, I felt like I could have written that book. And I
Wow.
love how, energy is in movement. And even if you
Mm.
don't know a person or know about a book or something, we're still teaching that same work in our own unique way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited
Yes.
to get into the meditations and things in the book and see what comes up.
Nice. That's
And
beautiful.
both books that I suggested, they both have
Mm-hmm.
exercises in there that you can do
Mm.
after like each chapter. So I love being able to do that work while I'm reading the book.
Right.
I never just go straight through the book. I'll read, do the meditation, I'll sit with that maybe a day, 2 days a week, and then I'll go into the next part of
Mm.
it so that I can
Oh, that's
really
good.
process the work.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to approach it. Wait, the other book, the second book, who is that one by? That's by Queen of Fool?
No, it's not actually.
Mm.
I have to look. I don't, I don't have the author's name, which
Oh,
is
that's okay. I'll
it's
find it.
like, it's really interesting that she didn't have it like, if I if I finally publish my book, my name would probably be bigger than the title. I'm just kidding. Um, Serious, I don't see it in the picture, so I don't know. I would love to give her credit, but
No, it's
yeah.
okay. I'll find and then I'll put a title
Okay.
on there or a link in a link. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, those are some good sounds like some good books for sure. So, what else where can we reach you? And yeah, like online, and how can we get in touch with you?
Oh, well, if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Venus Moon Creations. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Etsy, Venus Moon Creations on Etsy as well. And there you can find
Okay.
things like pussy teas and
Mm.
yoni eggs and different kinds of teas and sage and things like that. And if you're looking for yoga, then it would be venusmoonwellness.com. And that's where you're going to find yoga and a more holistic approach.
Nice, beautiful. Thank you. Well, we definitely, so happy that you joined me today. I'm just so like, I'm trying to also build a community of, just like-minded women who want to just share, wellness the way you are. And like, we all just get together and, kind of like give it to whoever wants to have it.
I think that what you're doing is beautiful and it's definitely necessary. And, you're connecting women all across, the globe and bringing them together in this healing space where we get to share our stories. And
Yeah.
I really love that you're walking on purpose. And I'm so glad that you had me on.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Chamica. So we'll just end it there and we will see you another time. We'll have an update soon, especially when your courses come out, because we definitely want to hear more about that and anything else that you have coming up, any workshops and stuff. So definitely I will connect with you again soon.
All right. I look forward to that. Thank you so much.